Why does the truth about the making and sustaining of the conflict in and over Palestine that became Israel matter? Well, the short answer is that there are a number of realities today to be faced. And the first of them is that Israel's leaders are not remotely interested in peace on any terms that the Palestinians, most other Arabs, and most Muslims everywhere can accept. Israel's Zionist policy today is the same as what it's always been. It wants the maximum amount of land with the minimum number of Arabs on it. And that leads us to another reality. There is not a snowball's chance in hell of real peace unless the governments of the major powers, led as they must be by the American government, in fact by the man in the White House, whoever he is, unless they are prepared to use the leverage they have to try to require Israelis to be serious about peace on terms that the Palestinians and most other Arabs and Muslims everywhere could accept. Now here's the problem. Our governments, especially the one in Washington DC, are never going to use the leverage they have unless they are pushed to do so by informed public opinion. And why is this so? It is because in America in particular, it is because of the stranglehold on American policy for the Middle East of the Zionist lobby and its stooges in Congress. It makes any American president their prisoner. Now I have to say here, I do not blame the Zionist lobby for exercising its awesome power in the way it does. The Zionist lobby is only playing the game according to the system's rules. What I blame in America, Canada and elsewhere, but particularly in America, is the pork barrel system of politics that puts what passes for democracy up for sale to the highest bidders. Now there are many lobbies who bid and buy power. The Zionist lobby, in association with the Christian Zionist fundamentalists, who deep down are the most anti-Semitic of all, they are one lobby. There's the gun lobby, there's the military lobby, there's the drug lobby. I don't need to tell you, there are many lobbies. So I repeat, I do not blame the Zionist lobby. I blame a corrupt pork barrel system of politics. So here we have it. Let's stick on America to make the point. No American president will be free to act, to use the leverage he has against Israel, unless and until public opinion, the citizens, the voters, are informed enough to make their democracy work and call their elected representatives to account. As I put it in volume 3 of my book, which has just been published, for example, an American president, if he wants to use the leverage he has against Israel, he needs enough members of Congress to be more frightened of offending their voters than they are of offending the Zionist lobby. And that really brings us back to the significance, or what I think is the significance of my 3-volume work. I'm saying on the one hand that citizens need to be empowered with the truth of history to make their democracy work. Now my book is about much more than its title suggests. Zionism, the real enemy of the Jews. It is a complete rewrite of the whole history of the making of the conflict. I have stripped out all the Zionist propaganda nonsense and replaced it with the documented facts and truth of history. I've also added personal insight by quoting from mainly private conversations I had over the years with leaders on both sides. But there's more to it. It's not just about events as they unfold in the region. As those events are unfolding, I take my readers behind closed doors in London, in Paris, in Washington and Moscow. So the significance of my book, and this is why it is epic in length as well as sweep and substance, is that you can start out knowing nothing worth knowing about this conflict, which very frankly, in my opinion, is about 98% of all Americans, about 96% of most Canadians, and about 80% of most Western Europeans. But you can start out knowing nothing, and if you read the books, Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 3, you will see how all the pieces of the jigsaw puzzle fit together. And for the first time ever, you'll be able to make sense of what has sustained the conflict, why peace is impossible at the moment, and who must do what and why if there is ever to be justice for peace. So what I've actually done, the reason why I gave 5 years of my life to researching and writing the book, is that I wanted to provide a tool to empower the citizens of the Western nations to make their democracy work, for justice for the Palestinians and peace for all. It's a massive undertaking, and I understand that Americans in particular, and the British in particular, and Canadians, we all have problems of our own because of the economic mismanagement, to coin a phrase, of our system. So we all have very many problems. So the question arises, why the hell should anybody really care about what is happening in the Middle East? My answer is very simple. The Israel-Palestine conflict is the cancer at the heart of international affairs, and it threatens to consume us all if there is not a solution to it. I say, therefore, that every man, every woman, and every child on this planet has a vested interest in the conflict and playing their part to make their democracies work, to cause their politicians, and in particular their presidents and their prime ministers, to be responsible and play their part in solving this problem.